Our first story tonight is about courage and sticking together. It's called Voice of the Jungle. In the heart of the dense jungle, nestled amidst a grove of towering trees, lay a den inhabited by 3 tiger siblings and their mother. Concealed within a thicket of tangled vines and lush undergrowth, their den was a hidden treasure, a haven of safety and comfort for the young cubs. The entrance to their den was framed by gnarled roots and overhanging branches, forming a natural archway that served as both protection and camouflage. Thick ferns and moss carpeted the ground, muffling their paw steps and creating a soft bed for rest. Sunlight filtered through the canopy above, casting dappled patterns of light and shadow that danced across the den floor. Amber, the eldest of the siblings, was a tiger cub with fur the color of setting sun, her stripes shimmering like molten gold in the dappled light of the jungle. She exuded a quiet confidence, her amber eyes always keenly observing her surroundings. With her graceful movements and wise demeanor, she served as a guiding presence for her younger siblings. Titan, the second-born, was a robust cub with muscles rippling beneath his fur like coiled springs. His coat boasted bold, dark stripes that contrasted sharply against his fiery orange fur. Titan possessed boundless energy and an adventurous spirit, always eager to lead the way and explore new territories. His strength and bravery inspired admiration from his siblings, who often looked to him for guidance during their escapades. Luna, the smallest of the trio, was a tiger cub with a fierce spirit contained within her petite frame. Her fur was a rich shade of deep russet, accented by stripes of midnight black. Luna's eyes sparkled with intelligence and mischief, and her quick wit often kept her brothers on their toes. Despite her size, she possessed a fiery determination and an unwavering courage that endeared her to her siblings. Luna's ingenuity and resourcefulness often proved invaluable during their adventures in the jungle. The 3 tiger siblings had grown strong and adept at navigating the intricate web of life in the jungle. Their muscles rippled with newfound strength, their senses honed to a keen edge by countless hours of play and exploration. Saffron, their mother, watched with pride as she realized her cubs had matured into fierce and capable hunters, ready to prove themselves in the wild. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the jungle floor, Saffron gathered her cubs around her for a solemn moment. The air was heavy with the scent of foliage, and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures echoed through the trees. With a mixture of pride and apprehension in her eyes, Saffron addressed her offspring. "My dear cubs," she began, her voice soft yet resolute, "the time has come for you to embark on your own journey. You've grown strong and brave, and now it's time for you to test your skills in the wild." Amber, Titan, and Luna exchanged nervous glances, their hearts fluttering with a blend of excitement and uncertainty. They had always relied on their mother's guidance and protection, but now the moment had arrived for them to strike out on their own. With a gentle nudge from Saffron, the siblings took their first tentative steps away from the safety of their den, their senses alert to every rustle and whisper in the underbrush. Saffron watched them go, her heart swelling with pride as she witnessed the strength and determination in their stride. As the darkness of night enveloped the jungle, the three siblings disappeared into the shadows, their mother's watchful gaze following them until they were nothing more than fleeting shapes amidst the dense foliage. With a heavy heart and a silent prayer on her lips, Saffron knew that her cubs were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, guided by the lessons she had imparted and the bond of family that would always unite them, no matter how far they roamed. Amber, Titan, and Luna navigated through the dense foliage of the jungle, their senses on high alert, every rustle and snap of a twig sending a shiver down their spines. The canopy overhead filtered the fading light of day into dappled shadows, casting an eerie glow upon the forest floor. With each step, the siblings remained vigilant, their amber eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the jungle, the sounds of the nocturnal creatures began to fill the air, their calls and cries echoing through the darkness. A distant roar sent a ripple of fear through the trio, causing them to huddle closer together for comfort. But they pressed on, their determination overriding their trepidation, their bond as siblings serving as a source of strength amidst the ominous whispers of the night. Suddenly, a spine-chilling howl pierced the stillness, causing the cubs to freeze in their tracks, their fur bristling with fear. But as they listened closer, they realized that the sound was not that of a fearsome predator, but merely the cry of a distant wolf. Relieved yet wary, they continued their journey, their senses attuned to every shadow and sound, knowing that the jungle held both beauty and danger in equal measure, and that only by staying together could they hope to overcome whatever obstacles lay ahead. As Amber, Titan, and Luna reached the edge of the jungle, they were met with the sight of a wide river, its waters rushing swiftly downstream. With no bridge in sight, the siblings exchanged concerned glances, knowing they needed to find a way across to continue their journey. Their amber eyes scanned the riverbanks until they spotted a fallen tree, its massive trunk stretching like a bridge across the churning waters. With a mixture of relief and trepidation, the trio approached the fallen tree, its rough bark worn smooth by the passage of time and the elements. Luna hesitated at the edge, her heart pounding in her chest as she peered down at the swirling currents below. But Titan and Amber, undaunted by the challenge, stepped onto the log with confidence, their muscles tense with determination. With careful steps and steady paws, they began to make their way across the makeshift bridge, Luna following close behind, her fear giving way to a sense of exhilaration as they ventured into the unknown together. As the siblings cautiously made their way onto the fallen tree trunk, they soon realized its precarious nature. The aged wood groaned under their combined weight, creaking ominously with each step. Luna, Amber, and Titan exchanged worried glances, understanding that the trunk could only support the weight of one of them at a time. With a silent agreement, Amber took the lead, her strong frame carefully navigating the swaying trunk with practiced ease. Step by cautious step, she made her way across the rushing waters, her siblings watching anxiously from the safety of the riverbank. As Amber neared the other riverbank, a booming voice reverberated through the air, startling her and causing her to freeze in her tracks. "Halt! Who goes there?" it demanded, echoing from within the tree trunk or perhaps from the rushing water itself. Summoning her courage, Amber introduced herself, her voice steady despite the unease gnawing at her. But the voice, deep and ominous, declared its intent to eat her. Thinking quickly, Amber decided to appeal to the voice's appetite, using her wit and cunning. "Please, sir," she replied, her tone pleading. "I'm just a small and bony tiger cub. You won't find me very satisfying at all. But my brother, he's much larger and tastier. He'll be crossing the trunk right behind me." With her heart pounding in her chest, Amber hoped her words would be enough to distract the mysterious voice, buying her enough time to safely reach the other side and alert her siblings to the potential danger that lurked within the fallen tree. As Titan followed in his sister's footsteps, carefully balancing on the swaying trunk, the same booming voice echoed through the air once more, sending a chill down his spine. "Halt! Who goes there?" it demanded, seeming to emanate from the very depths of the tree trunk or the rushing waters below. Drawing upon his sister's quick thinking, Titan introduced himself, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. Yet again, the voice threatened to consume him, sending a shiver of fear down his spine. Thinking fast, Titan remembered Amber's tactic and decided to employ it himself. "I'm just a tiger cub," he replied, his words laced with desperation. "Small and scrawny. But my sister, she's much larger and juicier. You'd be better off waiting for her." With bated breath, Titan hoped his words would divert the attention of whatever lurked within the tree trunk, buying him precious moments to safely reach the other side and reunite with his sister. As he continued his cautious journey across the makeshift bridge, the voice faded into the distance, leaving him to wonder what other mysteries lay hidden in the depths of the jungle. As Luna tentatively stepped onto the trembling trunk, her heart pounded with anticipation and apprehension. Just as her siblings had experienced, the air was pierced by a thunderous voice echoing from within the tree trunk or the rushing river below. "Halt! Who goes there?" it bellowed, its tone sending shivers down Luna's spine. Summoning her courage, Luna introduced herself, her voice quivering slightly as she tried to maintain her composure. Yet again, the voice threatened to consume her, its ominous presence looming in the darkness. Luna took a deep breath and replied with a clear voice, "Take me if you must, but know this. We are tigers, born of the jungle, and we fear no creature, no matter how big or small." As the words left her lips, a massive figure emerged from the darkness within the log. Luna and her siblings were ready to pounce on the mysterious brute, ready to work together against their invisible enemy. But instead of a fearsome monster, it was revealed to be a large frog, its bulging eyes fixed on the cubs with surprise. "Forgive me, young ones," the frog croaked, its voice not nearly as menacing as it had seemed. "I meant no harm. I was merely protecting my home." Realizing their mistake, the cubs exchanged sheepish glances before bursting into laughter. They had let their imaginations run wild, fearing a creature that was harmless all along. With newfound camaraderie, the three siblings joined forces, using their combined strength and cunning to help the frog find a new and better home. And as they watched it hop away into the foliage, they knew that their first hunt had taught them a valuable lesson, that sometimes the greatest threats are nothing more than shadows in the dark. Whoa. I think I would have been a bit scared hearing a voice like that. But I'm glad it turned out to just be a little frog. Our next story is titled A Troll's Redemption. Deep within the dense woods, where the canopy stretched high above and the air hummed with the song of birds and rustling leaves, there thrived a tribe of gentle trolls. Their village nestled amidst the ancient trees, their homes woven from branches and adorned with vines that cascaded like living tapestries. Life in the troll village was a harmonious symphony of nature's rhythms, where each member played a vital role in the delicate balance of the forest. Among these trolls was Thorne, a young troll with a spirit as wild and untamed as the swirling currents of the nearby river. His eyes sparkled with curiosity, his laughter like the bubbling brooks that wound their way through the woods. From dawn till dusk, Thorne reveled in the wonders of the forest, his days spent foraging for ripe berries and plump mushrooms, his nimble fingers weaving intricate patterns with leaves and twigs. But it was not just the bounties of nature that filled Thorne's days. It was the camaraderie of his kin that brought warmth to his heart. Gathered around crackling fires, the trolls shared tales of old, their voices rising and falling like the wind through the trees. With each story, Thorne felt the bonds of community grow stronger, weaving together the fabric of their shared history and heritage. In the golden light of dawn, Thorne would set out on his adventures, his feet carrying him deeper into the heart of the forest. Through moss-covered paths and sun-dappled clearings, he roamed, his senses alive with the scents and sounds of the wild. Every rustle in the underbrush, every whisper of the wind was a symphony of discovery, proof of the boundless wonders that lay hidden within the forest. And when night fell and the stars twinkled overhead, Thorne would return to the safety of his village, his heart brimming with tales of his exploits. Gathered around the communal fire, the trolls would listen intently, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. For in Thorne's stories, they found not just entertainment, but a reflection of their own connection to the land, a reminder of the magic that pulsed through their veins and bound them to the forest. There, in the heart of the woods, amidst the ancient trees and babbling brooks, Thorne lived a life rich with adventure and camaraderie, his spirit as boundless as the wilderness that surrounded him. And though the forest held many secrets yet undiscovered, Thorne knew that as long as he had the love of his family and friends, along with the wonders of nature to guide him, he would never be alone in his journey. One crisp autumn day, as the leaves danced in a riot of colors and the air carried the promise of impending winter, Thorne felt a pull stronger than usual to venture deeper into the woods. The allure of ripe walnuts and juicy apples beckoned to him, promising a harvest worth the effort. With a sense of anticipation bubbling within him, Thorne set off on his expedition, his steps light and purposeful. As he delved further into the heart of the forest, the sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting a golden hue upon the forest floor. The air was crisp and cool, alive with the rustle of leaves and the distant call of woodland creatures. With each step, Thorne felt a sense of wonder and excitement building within him, his senses alive to the myriad wonders that surrounded him. Lost in the rhythm of his foraging, Thorne wandered deeper into the woods than ever before, his path meandering through groves of towering trees and hidden glades. It was then, amidst the tranquil beauty of the forest, that he stumbled upon a curious anomaly. A quaint log cabin nestled amidst the trees, its presence a stark contrast to the wildness of the woods. Intrigued by the sight before him, Thorne approached the cabin cautiously, his senses on high alert. The aroma of wood smoke and pine filled the air, mingling with the earthy scent of fallen leaves. With a hesitant knock, he announced his presence, half expecting no response. To his surprise, the door creaked open, revealing a solitary figure within. The interior of the cabin was bathed in a warm, flickering light, the fire casting dancing shadows upon the walls. And there, standing before the hearth, was a figure unlike any Thorne had ever encountered. A solitary human, his weathered face edged with lines of age and wisdom. As Thorne stepped into the cabin, the human regarded him with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. His eyes, the color of storm clouds, seemed to hold a hint of sadness, as if weighed down by the burdens of his past. "Welcome, traveler," he spoke, his voice a low rumble that echoed through the cabin. "What brings you to my humble cabin on this fine autumn day?" With a polite nod, Thorne introduced himself, his voice filled with warmth and curiosity. "I'm Thorne, a troll of the forest. I was collecting food for the winter and stumbled upon your place here." The man's eyes softened at Thorne's words. A flicker of recognition passed through them. "Ah, a troll of the forest," he mused, his gaze drifting to the window where the trees swayed gently in the breeze. "I once knew the forest well, before I was cursed and banished from its embrace." Intrigued by the human's cryptic words, Thorne leaned in closer, his curiosity piqued. "Cursed?" he echoed, his voice barely a whisper. And thus began a tale of redemption and longing as the man revealed his true identity. A bewitched troll named Garth, punished by a powerful witch for his past transgressions against the forest. With each word, Thorne felt a pang of empathy for the cursed troll, his heart heavy with the weight of his newfound friend's sorrow. As the fire crackled softly in the hearth, casting a warm glow upon the cozy cabin, Thorne listened intently to Garth's tale of woe. With each word, he could feel the weight of the curse that burdened his newfound friend, could sense the ache of longing that lingered in the depths of Garth's stormy eyes. Garth spoke of his past with a mixture of remorse and longing, recounting the days when he roamed the forest without care or regard for its delicate balance. He spoke of the trees he felled, the creatures he hunted, and the rivers he polluted with his careless actions. And with each confession, Thorne felt a pang of empathy tug at his heart, for he knew all too well the consequences of disregarding the sacred bond between troll and forest. But amidst the sorrow and regret, there was a flicker of hope in Garth's words, a glimmer of redemption that shone through the darkness of his past. He spoke of his desire to atone for his mistakes, to seek forgiveness from the forest and its inhabitants, and to reclaim the life he had lost when he was banished from its embrace. Moved by Garth's sincerity and determination, Thorne felt a kinship form between them, a bond forged in the depths of shared experience and mutual understanding. Despite their initial differences, they were united by their love for the woods and its inhabitants, by the desire to protect and preserve the beauty that surrounded them. And as they sat together in the warmth of the cabin, the fire casting flickering shadows upon the walls, Thorne knew that he had found not just a friend, but a kindred spirit, a companion to walk beside him on the journey towards redemption and renewal. With each passing moment, their bond grew stronger, nourished by laughter and shared experiences, by the simple joy of companionship and camaraderie. And as they embarked on their quest to break the witch's curse and restore Garth to his true form, Thorne knew that they would face many challenges and obstacles along the way. But with Garth by his side, he felt a newfound sense of courage and determination, knowing that together they would overcome anything that stood in their path. As Thorne and Garth delved deeper into the forest, their shared quest to break the witch's curse took on a remarkable transformation of its own. With each act of kindness and every good deed performed for the forest and its inhabitants, Garth's physical form began to change, gradually shedding the human guise that had bound him for so long and embracing the true essence of his troll nature. It started subtly at first, with the faintest hint of green tinging Garth's skin, a leafy hue that spoke of his growing connection to the land. His once handsome features began to take on a rugged, earthy quality, his eyes gleaming with the ancient wisdom of the forest. As they tended to the trees, Garth's touch became more sure and steady, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns of bark with a reverence born of newfound understanding. With each seedling planted and every sapling nurtured, his strength grew, his muscles bulging beneath his skin as if infused with the very life force of the forest itself. But it was in his interactions with the creatures of the woods that the most remarkable changes occurred. With each injured bird healed, and every lost animal guided back to safety, Garth felt a surge of energy course through him, his senses sharpening, and his instincts awakening to the rhythms of the wild. And as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Garth's transformation became more pronounced, his human form slowly giving way to that of a true troll. His skin took on a mossy hue, his ears elongating and his hair transforming into a tangled mane of leaves and twigs. But it was his eyes that changed the most, their once human gaze now alight with the primal fire of the forest, reflecting the ancient wisdom and boundless compassion that had taken root within his soul. And so, as Thorne and Garth continued on their journey through the depths of the woods, they did not walk alone, but side by side, two kindred spirits bound by a shared purpose and a love for the land that had transformed them both. And though their quest was far from over, they knew that with each step taken and every good deed done, they were one step closer to breaking the witch's curse and reclaiming Garth's true destiny as a guardian of the forest. As the seasons waltzed through the forest, the passage marked by the changing hues of the foliage and the whispering breezes, Garth found himself increasingly drawn to the quiet magnificence of the woodland realm. With each passing day, he reveled in the tranquil beauty that surrounded him, finding solace in the gentle rustle of leaves and the melodious chirping of birds. Yet, amidst the serene embrace of nature, it was the companionship of his newfound friend Thorne that brought him the greatest comfort. With each shared moment, their friendship deepened, like roots delving ever deeper into the rich soil of mutual understanding and camaraderie. As they roamed the forest together, Garth felt his bond with the land strengthening, his senses attuned to its rhythms and whispers. He marveled at the dance of sunlight filtering through the canopy, at the symphony of life that thrived beneath the forest's lush embrace. And in Thorne he found not just a guide, but a beacon of light in the darkness, a steadfast companion whose unwavering support and guidance lifted his spirits and fueled his determination. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the forest, Garth and Thorne stood beneath the towering trees, their hearts heavy with the weight of impending farewell. Around them the air hummed with the song of cicadas, a poignant melody that seemed to echo the depths of their bond. "Thorne," Garth began, his voice soft but filled with emotion, "I cannot thank you enough for all that you have done for me. You've shown me kindness and compassion when I had all but given up hope." Thorne met his friend's gaze, a smile upon his lips. "Garth, it has been an honor to walk beside you on this journey. You've taught me the true meaning of courage and resilience, and I'm grateful for every moment we've shared." "Promise me we'll meet again," Garth implored, his eyes lit up with hope. Thorne reached out, clasping Garth's hands in his own. "I promise, Garth. No matter where our journeys may take us, our paths will cross again, for the bonds we've forged in the heart of the woods are unbreakable." With a final embrace, they bid each other farewell, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that though they may be separated by distance and time, the magic of their friendship would endure, a guiding light in the darkness of the unknown. And as they parted ways, their hearts filled with gratitude and hope, they knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, they would always carry with them the cherished memories of their time together in the enchanted forest, and the promise of a future reunion yet to come. Living in harmony with nature. Maybe we could all get better at that. The last story for tonight is all about love and belonging. So settle down in your warm, cozy bed and enjoy puppy playtime. Once upon a time, nestled in a cozy corner of a sprawling countryside, there was a quaint little farmhouse surrounded by fields of swaying wheat and fragrant wildflowers. In this peaceful haven lived a kind-hearted farmer named Mr. Johnson and his gentle dog Daisy. One sunny spring morning, as the birds chirped their cheerful melodies, Daisy gave birth to a litter of adorable puppies. Their tiny yips filled the air with joy as they wiggled and squirmed, their eyes still closed tightly against the brightness of the world. The air was filled with the soft sounds of contented sighs and gentle suckling as the puppies nursed and nuzzled against their mother's warm fur. Their tiny bodies, still fragile and new to the world, were a tangle of fur and paws as they curled up together, seeking comfort and warmth in the circle of their siblings. Daisy, with her gentle eyes and patient demeanor, watched over them with unwavering love, her tail wagging softly as she licked each one in turn, showering them with motherly affection. The puppies spent most of their days in this cozy nest, their world confined to the safety of their mother's embrace. They slept soundly, their bellies full of milk, dreaming sweet dreams of the adventures that awaited them. As they grew stronger, they would clumsily crawl over each other, their tiny tails wagging with excitement as they explored their tiny corner of the world. But no matter how far they wandered, they always returned to the warmth and safety of their mother's side, where they would snuggle up together in a tight ball of fur, their soft breaths mingling in the quiet of the farmhouse. Mr. Johnson watched over them with tender care, ensuring they were warm and comfortable in their snug little nest. As the days passed, the puppies began to explore their surroundings, stumbling over each other in their clumsy attempts to walk. The farmhouse soon echoed with the sound of playful barks and the pitter-patter of tiny paws. The puppies delighted in chasing butterflies in the meadows, rolling in the soft green grass, and napping in the dappled shade of the old oak tree. Each puppy had its own unique personality, from the bold adventurer who led the pack on daring escapades, to the gentle soul who preferred to curl up in Mr. Johnson's lap for a nap. One sunny afternoon, when the air was warm and filled with the scent of blooming flowers, the puppies of the farmhouse decided it was time for a little adventure. With their tails wagging excitedly, they gathered together, noses twitching with curiosity. Their first stop was the vegetable garden, where rows of vibrant green plants swayed in the gentle breeze. The puppies darted between the rows, their noses sniffing out the earthy scent of ripe tomatoes and crisp cucumbers. They tumbled and played, rolling in the soft soil and chasing each other around the towering sunflowers. Next, they ventured into the orchard, where apple trees laden with ripe fruit beckoned to them. The puppies scampered through the grass, their ears perked up at the sound of buzzing bees and chirping birds. They took turns climbing the low branches, their tiny paws reaching for the juicy apples dangling just out of reach. As the sun began to dip towards the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the farm, the puppies made their way to the meadow. Here the grass was tall and swayed gently in the breeze, creating a sea of green as far as the eye could see. The puppies frolicked softly in the meadow, chasing butterflies and tumbling in the soft grass. But as evening approached and the sky turned shades of pink and orange, the puppies knew it was time to return home. With tired but happy hearts, they trotted back to the farmhouse, their noses twitching with the familiar scents of home. As the puppies nestled together in their cozy nest, their soft fur entwined in a delicate ballet of warmth and comfort, a serene hush descended upon the farmhouse. The air was filled with the rhythmic melody of their breaths, each inhale and exhale, a gentle lullaby that soothed their restless spirits. One by one, the puppies began to settle into sleep, their tiny bodies gradually growing still as they surrendered to the embrace of slumber. Their eyelids fluttered closed, revealing the delicate patterns of light and shadow that danced across their fur in the glow of the moonlight, filtering through the window. With each slow and steady breath, their chests rose and fell in perfect harmony, the soft sound like the whisper of a gentle breeze rustling through the leaves of a tree. Their noses twitched ever so slightly, catching the faint scents of the world around them, the earthy aroma of the soil, the sweet fragrance of wildflowers carried on the breeze. As they drifted deeper into sleep, their dreams began to weave intricate tapestries of imagination and wonder. They dreamed of endless fields stretching towards the horizon, of secret meadows filled with flowers of every hue, of forests alive with the songs of birds, and the chatter of woodland creatures. And through it all, their breaths remained slow and steady, a constant rhythm that anchored them to the present moment, even as their minds soared through the realms of dreams. In the quiet of the farmhouse, surrounded by the comforting presence of their siblings, the puppies slipped further into the embrace of sleep, their hearts filled with the promise of tomorrow's adventures and the warmth of their sacred bond. In their slumber, their minds danced with vivid images of the day's adventure, each moment etched into their memories, like the strokes of a painter's brush on a canvas. They dreamed of bounding through the sun-kissed fields, the wind ruffling their fur as they chased after butterflies and scampered through the tall grass. They relived the excitement of exploring the vegetable garden, their noses twitching with the scent of ripe tomatoes and earthy soil. And they giggled in their sleep as they remembered the joy of climbing the apple trees in the orchard, their tiny paws reaching for the tempting fruit dangling above. Amidst these dreams of adventure, there was also a sense of peace and contentment. For in their hearts, the puppies knew that no matter where their adventures took them, they would always have each other. Their bond as siblings was strong and unbreakable, a thread that connected them through every twist and turn of their journey. And as the stars twinkled overhead and the night settled in, casting a blanket of darkness over the farm, the puppies slept on, their dreams weaving together into a tapestry of love and friendship. For they knew that in their little corner of the world, there would always be more adventures waiting just beyond the horizon, and they couldn't wait to explore them together. The next day dawned with a golden glow, the sun casting its warm rays over the sleepy farmhouse and awakening the world with its gentle embrace. As the puppies emerged from their cozy nest, their eyes bright with curiosity, a sound outside piqued their interest, and they all piled out of the farmhouse into the fresh morning air. The sound they had heard turned out to be a duck, peacefully looking for its breakfast in the courtyard. So the puppies decided to sniff along with it for a while. Losing interest in the duck, they scampered across the dew-kissed grass. Their noses twitched with anticipation, eager to explore the wonders of the world around them. They darted between the rows of vegetables in the garden, their curious noses leading them to discover hidden treasures beneath the leaves. With playful abandon, they chased after butterflies that flitted among the flowers, their tiny paws dancing over the soft petals as they leaped and frolicked in the sunlight. The air was alive with their laughter and the sound of their joyful barks, echoing through the fields and meadows like the melody of a summer symphony. Their adventures took them through fields of swaying wheat and sun-kissed meadows where they rolled and tumbled in the tall grass, their fur becoming adorned with tiny droplets of dew. They chased after each other in playful games of tag, their boundless energy filling the air with an infectious sense of joy and excitement. But amidst their playful antics, there were quiet moments as well. They paused to sniff the fragrant blossoms of wildflowers, their noses twitching as they savored the delicate scents of nature. They lay in the shade of an old oak tree, their tongues lolling out in contentment as they basked in the warmth of the sun. And as the morning stretched into afternoon, they returned to the farmhouse, their hearts full of the memories of their morning spent outdoors. They flopped down in a heap on the front porch, their breaths coming slow and steady as they basked in the glow of the sun, their minds filled with dreams of the adventures that awaited them in the days to come. Slowing down made the puppies realize how sleepy their adventure had made them. And so returning home, they discovered something new and intriguing near the edge of the farm. A hammock swaying gently between two sturdy trees. Their tails wagged excitedly as they approached the hammock, their noses twitching with anticipation. With clumsy enthusiasm, they clambered onto the hammock, one by one, their tiny paws scrambling for purchase on the swaying fabric. With each attempt to get into the hammock, the puppies found themselves tumbling over one another in a delightful chaos of fur and paws. Their laughter rang out like tiny bells, echoing through the tranquil air of the farm, intermingling with the soft rustle of leaves and the cheerful chirping of birdsong. As they flopped and rolled, some landing with surprised yips and others with triumphant woofs, they couldn't help but be infected by the sheer joy of the moment. Even when their attempts ended in a tangled heap on the ground, they scrambled back to their feet with tails wagging, undeterred by their initial failures. Their determination only grew stronger with each tumble, their eyes shining with a fierce resolve as they refused to let a few falls dampen their spirits. With encouraging barks and gentle nudges, they urged each other on, their bond as siblings strengthening with each passing moment. And as the sun continued its slow ascent into the sky, casting a warm glow over the farm, the puppies finally succeeded in their quest. And finally, after much wobbling and tumbling, they succeeded in arranging themselves in a cozy pile, their bodies fitting snugly together like pieces of a puzzle. As they settled into the hammock, their breaths slowing to the rhythm of the swaying motion. They listened to the soothing sounds of nature all around them. The birds sang sweet melodies in the trees, their voices blending harmoniously with the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. With each gentle sway of the hammock, the puppies felt themselves drifting further into a state of peaceful relaxation, their eyelids growing heavy with sleep. And as the sun dipped towards the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the farm, they snuggled closer together, their hearts filled with the joy of friendship and the simple pleasures of a lazy afternoon spent in the company of loved ones. And so, as the day melted into evening and the stars began to twinkle overhead, and the puppies fell asleep in the hammock, their dreams filled with visions of endless adventures yet to come, their hearts content in the knowledge that no matter where life took them, they would always have each other. Good night, little ones. Sleep tight.